Hello and welcome back to another Diabetic Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea drinking author who for once has got a cup of tea. Very nice it is too. And today, well, I haven't got any basic themes to talk about really. I've just come back from a weekend away with the Historical Novels Society. I was giving a presentation on writing historical novels set in Devon. I've got a certain amount of experience of that, to be fair. And I thought maybe I'd just chat a little bit about the things that I took. Now, the obvious essential was this, which is my Matrix travelling kit. You will have seen this before, I think. I think it's wonderful value. I really do. The whole of this was 20 quid. 20 quid to get a lancet holder, so that's the stabbing machine. You've got the little device here that will take a test strip. Test strips are all in here. You shove the test strip in the bottom, that turns it on automatically. You stab yourself, you clean your finger with an alcohol wipe. These are spare lancets, by the way. And then after you've stabbed yourself, you wipe the first drip away. I don't know why, but you have to. And then get some more blood out, put the blood into the test strip, and it'll give you a reading on your blood count, on your blood sugar. And at the same time, it'll transmit that to your phone. They supply you with an app that runs on iPhone or Android, and as soon as you've taken the blood sample, it's on your phone, so you can monitor things really very easily. This is a little test solution, so you can make sure that your machine is working properly too. So all in all, for £20, that is a fabulous, fabulous package. I have one suggestion which I would make, however. That is that you buy a little receptacle similar to this. What is this? This is purely and simply a little empty pot. I think this was made of titanium, I forget. It's actually sold as something to carry pills. I thought some years ago that would be quite handy when I was taking medication for my diabetes. I thought that'd be useful to have so that when I go camping or something, I can carry my pills safely in a dry container. However, of course, now I don't take the medication. What's the point of having it? Point is, it's a perfect size for when you've finished stabbing yourself, taking out the test strip and the lancet, you've got a little receptacle in which to keep them. Why? Well, not always is it possible to get to a bin where you can put these things safely. And lancets, their needles are only tiny. They're very, very short. But they still could injure someone, and they probably don't want to be injured with something that's had your blood on it. So I think having something where you can put your lancets if you're out and about, and then when you get home, just shove them straight in the bin. Now, when you're out and about, it's all very well going prepared with all the different things you need, but the biggest problem always is going to be what can you eat? And my wife is quite good at routinely saying to people, yes, my husband has a slight dietary requirement. He's diabetic. And you'll get all sorts of responses to that. You'll get lots of people saying, oh, that's all right. You can have this bread because it's gluten-free. Yeah, it's not gluten that's the problem. Or yeah, but it's okay. There's no flour in this. It's only curry with rice. No, no good. Or oh, we haven't put much sugar in. Oh, how much is not much? Oh, it's only a couple of tablespoons. It's all that sort of thing that just makes life so difficult. My own inclination is not to specify I've got a dietary requirement, just to refuse any puddings. And when I get a plate full of potatoes, I just leave the potatoes. It does make for some fairly tedious meals. This weekend I was at Dartington And bless them, they had taken on board the idea of my dietary requirements. So when they came round with the main meal, I had the same as everybody else, except the potatoes had been left off my plate. So I had a chicken breast and a spoon of cabbage, which wasn't ideal, really. And then the chicken came in a sauce, and I can guarantee you it was full of sugar. But what can you do? And then they were very kind, and they brought me a berry sorbet. Now, I said, really don't want pudding because I can't have sugar. And the girls were really insistent, saying, it's all right, there's no sugar in this. It is all right, except that one of the things you start to learn when you start testing yourself fairly regularly is that if you eat berries, yes, they have sugar, but they're quite slow release. However, if you have the same quantity of berries in a smoothie, they'll give you a blood sugar spike. Why? Because they've mashed down the berries, and as soon as it's mashed down, it's much easier to absorb. So the benefit of the slow release of the sugars, because of the structure of the different cells within the berry, I assume, because you've broken down that structure, the sugar can be much more swiftly absorbed and you will get a blood sugar spike, which is a pain. So I desperately tried to turn down the pudding. In the end, I took the easier approach, which I had far too much red wine. For some reason, red wine, certainly for me, seems to reduce the blood sugar. The only trouble is it probably means I'm leading towards being an alcoholic. So I'm going to have to be very careful. I was quite entertained, actually. I was talking to a friend of mine over the weekend, and he said that he couldn't drink anything Saturday night because he was really quite determined this year he was only ever going to drink certain nights. So he wanted to make sure that 3 nights a week he didn't have any alcohol. I thought, I've been going without alcohol 5 nights a week for I don't know how long now. The only sad fact is that I know damn well that on the 2 to 3 nights that I will have alcohol in a week, I have far too much. Well, not every week, but I do sometimes. Still, never mind. So a bit of a rambling witter, but if you're still getting your test kits from your doctor, I can thoroughly recommend changing onto one of these. I say it was £21, I think. Agamatrix are incredibly helpful and very supportive, and just the fact that you've got a Bluetooth connection from the monitor straight through to your phone means that you're likely to keep records, especially since you can also use those records. You can output them to a PDF, you can view them on a computer, you can send them to your doctor if you want to. That's really, really handy. The way that the app works is frankly superb. And so long as you avoid puddings and potatoes, hopefully you'll be all right. The other thing I had was I asked for a salad, and it was this place, Dartington, had a pub where they were providing food, and on the Friday night we had to buy our own meals. So I went to the barbecue and had monkfish, which was lovely, on a salad. And then I discovered that the salad had salad dressing all over it, and everything underneath the salad was couscous and other stuff that still is carbohydrate rich. I must admit, I just thought, no, I've had enough today, I'm going to eat it anyway. And I don't think it had any impact. Then again, on the Saturday for lunch, the main lunch was sandwiches, obviously. They did have mini flans, mini quiche Lorraines, but apart from that, there were several salads, but all the salads, again, had sweeteners in them of some sort. And in the end, I had the quiche Lorraine and left the rest because it was just too sweet. So it is quite difficult when you go out. There are books and apps that you can buy that will show you on a you take a photo of the food, for example, on the app, and it will tell you roughly what quantity of food that is. And depending on whether it's a burger or a pasta dish, whatever it might be, it'll tell you what the carbohydrate is, what the possible glycemic index is, and all that kind of thing, which is very useful. I'm just not convinced that any of them work that well. With the book, you can buy the same sort of thing, but it's all based on photographs. Quite useful, but again, I prefer to monitor things myself. With my own food at home, I know exactly what's going into it. We don't buy any ready processed food other than butter. I make my own yogurt now. If we're doing a chicken dish, a curry or a Chinese or whatever it might be, I'll cook it myself. I know what goes into it. It's just so much easier and safer. If I'm really hungry for a snack, I might have some nuts, I might have a boiled egg, I might have a cube or two of chocolate. All of them things that I know are very low in sugar. But yeah, it is a pain, isn't it? If you're going through the same thing as me, well, best of luck. I know it's bloody hard, but at the end of the day, all we can do is keep on going and survive, because it's an awful lot better than the alternative. And on that note, if you don't mind these videos, I would be very grateful if you'd stick a like on the thumbs up down there, because it doesn't generate any money, but it does mean these videos then get circulated to a wider audience, because the way the algorithm works, the more likes you get, the more likely they are to actually supply other people with the video when they haven't asked for it. And if you're really keen, then you can subscribe, and then if you're really, really keen, you can buy me a coffee or go to Patreon. All those exciting things. But in the meantime, if you're interested in me and my books, do please go to michaeljex.co.uk, where you'll find information on all of my books and not a lot else, really, to be fair. Thanks very much for watching. Hope that was interesting. Keep safe and speak to you soon. Cheers.